also have not done any harm to the king. Let you be quite fortunate. And King Varkumen Unash took leave of him, and then the Chancellor of Chach opened his mouth. We can assume that the West Wall mural depicts delegates from various countries received by King Varkumen. These envoys and ambassadors converge from left and right. On the left side of the Western Wall are Chaganians, a main speaker of the inscription, and dignitaries from Chach. Chaganian and Chachi refer to Surkandaria province and Tashkent, respectively, and both are located in the west region of Samarkand. On the right side are shown a group of three in front of a man presumed to be a subject of the king. One has a leopard skin over his arm, and they may come from mountains like Tibet. Behind them stands Koreans wearing feathered hats and ring-pommel swords. Dynasty's envoys bearing gifts of cocoons and silk also seem to walk from the right group. All of them came from the east of Samarkand. Around the group of the delegates, Turks are seated or standing. On both sides of the mural are shields and flagpoles, which are interpreted to show characteristics of nomadic tribes. On top of this, we can get a glimpse of the Turks' influence over the region. Then, what was depicted on the damaged upper section of the mural? Most scholars assume that King Varkumen must have been there. And others suggest there must have been a god. The West Wall mural to the left. A procession painted in brilliant colors fills the south wall. A guarded structure and a few people are at the lead. Moving toward the lead, the procession is approached by a rider on a decorated elephant. Three figures on horseback follow right behind the elephant. Two men on camelback move forward, and each man holds a club that appears to be used for a ritual. Behind them, figures wearing face masks lead two pairs of geese and an unmanned horse. At the rear of the procession, an outsized image of a lower half of a figure is assumed to be King Varkumen on horseback. The king was followed by his equestrian troops. This procession is assumed to be one to pay respects to ancestors' tombs or a wedding ceremony. What is clear about the South Wall mural is that religious elements on the South Wall coincide with characteristics of the Zoroastrian religion. The North Wall mural is filled with the painting with the theme of the Tang Dynasty. In a boat on the left side sits a lady assumed to be the empress of the Tang Dynasty. In the center, about 10 attendants and boatmen. Under the boat are imaginary creatures, ducks, a feeding mother bird, and baby birds and lotuses. To the right of the empress's boat are guards sitting in a boat, water buffaloes, and cattle drovers. On land is a vigorous hunting scene in which a hunter on horseback is piercing a wild beast with his spear, and another hunter on horseback is about to shoot an arrow at another beast. Like the South Wall mural, here again, a figure in the center is depicted as an oversized image. Scholars mostly regard him as the Chinese emperor. It is not obvious why the entire northern wall was devoted to the depiction of the Tang Dynasty. Clearly, however, this region maintained a fairly friendly relationship with the Chinese dynasty. This is in line with a record that King Varkumen received a title from the Tang Dynasty in the mid-7th century. Lastly, let's look into the east wall near the entrance. On the left, we can recognize a man in a chair, reaching out his hand toward a round object. Another man kneeling down in front of him, and a man on horseback. As on the right, there are seen naked children, a person holding the tail of a water buffalo, fish, and ducks. This is assumed to depict the aquatic or swamp scene. This scene could be interpreted by some scholars as a paradise of India or of the Zoroastrian religion. So far, we've examined the Afrasiyab murals on the four walls. Because most parts were irremediably destroyed, we could not get a complete answer to the descriptive narrative of the wall paintings.